So basic tritone substitution would be when you have a dominant seventh chord, you can substitute it for a dominant seventh chord that's a tritone away. So this is called tritone substitution for two main reasons. One, the basic structural interval we're talking about is a tritone. But also, we're substituting this chord with a dominant chord that's a tritone away. So our tritone substitution version of our 2-5-1 would go D minor to D flat 7 to C major. So our typical progression and our tritone subbed 2-5. Now let's look at a different common chord progression, something called a turnaround. A turnaround is just what it sounds like. A chord and a series of chords that follow that turn around on itself to get back to the original chord. The most common turnaround is a 1 chord to a 6, to a 2, to a 5, and to a 1 chord. Now, because we've got a series of dominant chords here, we can also change all of these dominant chords to their tritone sub. Remember, the main reason you want to use tritone sub or give it a try is if it's a dominant seventh chord that resolves down by fifth. In the case of all these secondary dominant strings, every dominant chord is resolving down by fifth, so every chord is eligible for tritone sub. So let's tritone sub a few of these chords. E7. Instead of A7, let's go to E flat 7. That's its tritone sub. The next one would be A flat 7, if it's going to flop down by fifth. And D flat 7, also flopping down by fifth. And C major. All just coming from a 1-6-2-5. It's essentially the same chord progression, just with some of these harmonic techniques added into it. So now what happens if we take some of these tritone sub chords in this secondary dominant string, but instead of using the tritone sub, we prepare each of those chords with its respective 2, its supertonic, making a 2-5 out of it. So as you know, we had an E flat 7. What happens if we prepare that E flat 7 with its 2? Well, if E flat 7 is the 5, B flat minor is the 2. Later on in that tritone subprogression, we had a D flat 7 right at the end. So what happens if we prepare that D flat 7 with its 2? Well, if D flat 7 is the 5, A flat minor is the 2. So what happens if we hear that string of chords together? B flat minor to E flat 7, A flat minor to D flat 7. And ending on C. If you'd like to dive deeper into these concepts, you can check out the full course found in the description below.